Hello from Sarah Hookloopers. Today I'm taking a small break from Tunisian crochet because I'm working on several custom orders, and I thought it would be a good idea to talk to you about a topic that's very important for all crocheters or knitters out there. That is to say, how to join yarn. So I remember when I first started crocheting years ago, I always dreaded the point when the ball of yarn I was working with was about to finish because I didn't know how to join yarn, or I found it extremely difficult at the time. Now, after years of crocheting, I know several ways to join yarn efficiently, that is to say, in a way that does not come apart in time. But my main concern now is how to join yarn invisibly too. That is to say, in a way that doesn't show in the texture of my work. So today I would like to show you the 3 best methods for me for joining yarn. So the first method is called the knot method. That's what I call it because I don't know the name of this specific knot in English. So I will just show it to you so that you understand what I mean. So I have the 2 yarn ends of my 2 separate balls of yarn. I put them together like this, and then I make a knot around my finger, taking both yarn ends together, and draw as tight as I can. And that's my tight knot. Okay, that's absolutely safe, as you see. That will never come apart. And then I cut my 2 loose ends here as close to the knot as possible, and this will not come apart. Okay, but the problem with this method, which is extremely simple, is, as you see, that the joining point is pretty visible. So this will be okay for certain kind of works, but not for all. So this is the knot method. So another method I would like to show you is, I don't have a name for this, but it's my favorite method of all because I think it's very safe and the most invisible one of all methods I've tried in the past. So I have my 2 strands of yarn, my 2 yarn ends. I will show you into different colors so as not to make to create any confusion. So let's say this is yarn A and this is yarn B. So I just go over with yarn A, I go over yarn B, and I make a simple knot over yarn B with yarn A. Very simple. Okay, and I tug it very tightly. Now I do the same with yarn B over yarn A. So I make a simple knot here with yarn B over yarn A. And tug tightly. Now that's my situation. I will take one of the 2 yarns, in this case yarn B, and pull until I reach the other knot, the first knot I created. Now I'll tug with yarn A. I'll do the same until both knots meet Now I'll adjust my tagging again. Okay. And this is my knot, my joining. I will cut off my yarn ends. As close as possible to the joining point. And that's my joining, which, as you see, is flatter than the knot joining method. It is a little visible, of course, but it can really be, I think this is the best way of joining invisibly. Okay, and the third method I was talking to you about is probably the most elegant of all three. It's absolutely safe and efficient and absolutely invisible because there is no actual joining. And this is called the Tapestry Method because it actually uses the tapestry technique in crochet, if you know about it. So this only works when you already have a piece, when you already are working on something and the stitch allows it. So it has some limitations. So let's say I have worked here a couple of rows in simple crochet, simple stitch. So now I have almost reached the end of my first ball of yarn. So in order to join, I will do like this. I will work a couple of stitches in single crochet as I was doing. Okay, now before I come to the end of my yarn, I will take the yarn end of my second ball of yarn and place it in front of my work like this, with some tail hanging. And now I will start working with my finishing yarn over the new yarn, keeping on working in single crochets while weaving in the new yarn in my work. Very simply. This is the tapestry technique also for changing color. Very good. So you see what I'm doing. My new yarn gets caught in my work as I work. Okay. Now at some point, shortly before I finish my finishing yarn, I will start a stitch and I will finish it taking up the new yarn, which is the same color in this case, and finishing the stitch with the new yarn. Now we'll keep on working with the new yarn, letting the old yarn end loose here behind, and keeping on working my work with the new yarn. This is the result. I will now cut off the yarn, this yarn end here, and cut off this yarn end here, and my work will be absolutely flat. There is no joining, as you have seen. I'm just using a different method to work with the new yarn, to introduce the new yarn in my work. So these were my favorite ways for joining yarn because I think they are the most efficient and invisible ways for joining yarn in crochet or knitting. I know there are other methods. Some of them I've tried myself. For example, I know about the so-called Russian knot, which is supposed to be really invisible, but I've tried it and I found it rather complicated to do. You also need other tools like a tapestry needle to do this. And also I think you need a specific kind of yarn in order to be able to do the Russian knot. Anyway, the methods I've shown you are my favorite ones. I would be glad to know what methods you use, if you like them, and if you think other methods are better than these ones. So let me know in the comments. And this is it for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time with another video for me. Bye bye.